to the political arena. We'll talk with Lavi cover it all. Let's get real. Wednesday nights at 8 on winnfm. Let's get real on winnfm. Hi, this is Lavi. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on winnfm. Get ready for an hour of real talk that will keep you engaged and informed, bringing you insights, the hottest topics of the moment, and perspectives that matter from the runway to the political arena. We'll talk with Lavi cover it all. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on winnfm. Let's get real on winnfm. Hi, this is Lavi. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on winnfm. Get ready for an hour of real talk that will keep you engaged and informed, bringing you insights, the hottest topics of the moment, and perspectives that matter from the runway to the political arena. We'll talk with Lavi cover it all. Let's get real. Wednesday nights at 8 on WinFM.
Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday.
Let's get real on WinFM. Hi, this is Lavi. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on WinFM. Get ready for an hour of real talk that will keep you engaged and informed, bringing you insights, the hottest topics of the moment, and perspectives that matter from the runway to the political arena. Real Talk with Lavi covers all. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on WinFM. It is 10 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock, A pleasant good evening to you, St. Kitts and Nevis. This is Lavi, and you're in tune to the Real Talk with Lavi. Yeah. Tonight we are diving deep into a topic that touches all our lives directly: mental health. This is something everywhere go. Okay. This is something everywhere I go, people are meeting me and basically telling me, Lavi, you gotta talk and bring this to the forefront. And in particular, men are meeting me and telling me that, Lavi, you got to touch on the men because everybody are just talking about mental health and women, But mental health is for everyone, nevertheless. So we have seen the conversation sparkling in online. We see them on online forums. People are calling for support and, sharing their experience that can highlight a real need within our community. So let's open up this space, to an honest discussion and understanding and hope. Your voices matter, and tonight we're listening, so we're definitely going to be listening from the public. We want people to know it's an open discussion, but we are focusing on mental health, and we just want to use our time wisely and stay on the topic, stay on course, because this is something very, very serious in our community. So once again, a pleasant good evening to you, St. Kitts and Nevis. I am Lavi Gumbs, and I have here with me joining tonight Mr. Joven, Minister Joven, or Joven V, and he's going to be a part of the discussion. Hopefully he can maybe share his experience. So Joven, once again, welcome back to the Real Talk with Lavi.
Pleasant good night to all those out in Radio Land. Good night, Lavi. Thank you for having me back here on your show. As you so rightfully said, it's a serious yet many times overlooked topic, and it affects all of us, whether directly or indirectly, because mental health is part of all our families, whether it's you, me, our sister, our brother, or very close friends. So it's a serious topic.
Absolutely. For those of you that are just tuning in, I know, especially the diaspora out there, time has gone back, so it's early, when it's 8 o'clock for us. Many people are probably an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours behind. You have folks over there in Texas and California, and those places will probably be like a couple hours back. You have people over there in the UK, 5 hours ahead, and that's how it is. We have people over there in India, pretty much Egypt. Believe it or not, people are traveling and listening all over the world. Awesome. Whether you are from St. Kitts or you hold a St. Kitts citizenship. And, again, it's very good when people leave, no matter where you go, for schooling, for whatever the cause may be. There are persons out there all over the globe that are listening. And, again, tonight we are focusing on mental health. I know many persons, when we hear about these topics, we expect to get a professional to come in, and we will love that. But there are also people that just don't mind, being a part of discussion, right, because we are undergrounds and we're actually seeing what is happening. Again, Deco in particular, I think I can call Deco name. Deco said, Lavi, you got to talk about mental health, especially the men. There's a lot of men out there are going through mental health issues, depression, paranoid, anxiety, so many different things that persons are going through. And when he said that to me, I said, I really have to look a little deeper into it. And I was happy to know that you can be here to share, to be on this
Of course.
topic with us. But what I want to say, Jovin, back in the days when we think of mental health, we used to look at the big screen and we look, everything is America.
America.
Outside of St. Kitts and Nevis, because some of the things we was not really seeing it here. Maybe it was there, but it was not so prevalent, right? What I can say is that the mental health that many of us probably used to see is some people that were naturally born with certain disabilities and things. But now we are seeing that mental health is not just something. Listen, this can touch anybody any given time.
Yeah.
There are persons that might have a death in their family, people, even their parents, their grandparents, and it could be for decades.
Yeah.
I know a particular guy right here in St. Kitts and Nevis, who his son a couple of years back. I'm not going to call his name. I tried to get him on the show. He did say he want to come, but it's very hard for him because there's a lot of memories. But this incident happened many years ago up at George Street, and this guy who held his son in his arm and see his son died. And I'm just telling you, right, that sometimes we look at people and we see the changes and we don't know what happened, why they behave in this kind of way. We don't know the effect that it's causing upon them, and this is what is happening here in our country. I got to let the folks out there that are listening, many persons, because I got it a lot of times, Jovin, where people will say, oh, this happened all over the world. Oh, ain't just think it's just a minority. But we have to look outside of the box and not just always saying, well, it happened all over the world. At the end of the day, we have to deal with what we're living in.
Correct.
Jovin,
Correct.
what's your take on that?
Well, just to back up a bit, growing up, and even now, the stigma is the minute you see somebody, as they will say, crazy or have a mental issue, the first thing is they're on drugs. The first thing is they get a spang. Bearing in mind that can happen to some persons. I've known persons who had an overdose or who had weed mixed with crack, and that send them off. But as it so rightfully said, mental health is a serious thing. You understand? And especially in today's lifestyle where there's so many pressure. You understand? And to back up and touch on the men part of it, a lot of times men struggle with mental health, and sometimes men try to reach out, but especially young guys. But a lot of times, young guys are taught that the men should be strong. Men should not cry. Men should be tough. Men should suck it up and move on. And not realizing that itself could drive a man to depression, and depression is drive him to anxiety, and then cause him to, as we say, chip out. You know what I mean? But yes, it's a small island, but we need more avenues. Not just, as I said, that. And if I may talk about a friend of mine, and her sister, they got shot a couple of years ago, and she and her sister was very close, Lavi, very, very close. And it was so sudden, and her sister pressure went up. She went in the hospital, and she was just crying, laying on the bed, calling her sister name, saying, "Where you gone, left me? Where you be come back?" As anybody who goes through that kind of sudden grief would be. And believe it or not, they wanted to give her injection. The injection. So all that to say is that even our we need proper facility. Let's put it that way. Because it is said this injection, once you get it, you don't come back. But communication, you understand? Communication, sitting down talking to somebody could say is a lot. You understand? You might be going through something you ain't got nobody to talk to. Because you ain't got nobody to talk to, build up, and guess what? something trigger off when your wire bust up there, you know what I mean, send you crazy. So sometimes people just need to vent. It's not everybody you see out there. And next thing we need to stop the laugh. But people need to stop laugh after people. I remember the other day I had an incident, this young girl, and I know her well, where she, whoever sent her off, and she was up fortunate and she walked on somebody's car, and everybody taping her laugh, Mr. Knocker down and stuff like that. The girl went through something serious, a serious trauma, which I would not stand really, but serious trauma, because after a while some people came and we sat there, we talked to her, we spoke to her. You understand? So we need to be more sensitive as a society. I just walk around, some of them fellas on the road, who they say mental, I just call to them, dap some of them, so sit down and talk to them. Because a simple conversation can go a long way.
But at the end of the day, they are still human, though.
Exactly. But we live in a society where, Tom chip out. Instead we friend and sit down and try to talk to Tom, pull him back into society.
Okay. So what do you think, what are the primary barriers preventing individuals in St. Kitts and Nevis from seeking professional mental health support?
I think it's
just giving your opinion.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think there's a lack of systematic help. And when I say systematic help, I mean this. For example, if you go to the hospital and you're stressed out, you're talking to yourself. And my mother died, as I told you, my mother died in April, and it's still with me. And I was in the house talking to myself, Mommy, where you be? You understand? Because that's grief. But at the end there, if I had to go up the hospital now, they might have tried to put me down the crazy house. Not realizing is a level of grief.
But sometimes, even in grief, it's okay to get medication, because there are different medication for certain things.
There is.
Right?
There is. But the medication...
And sometimes we do need help in certain situations.
Right. There are medications. There are antidepressant medication.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that I have known a person who went to the hospital and went to a certain facility, and put it that way, and they was going through whatever, and all they wanted was a little talking to, or even some antidepressant medication.
Right, but Joven, and nothing wrong with what you're saying, right? As a hairstylist, the person will come to me and tell me what they want. But when I listen to what they want, what I want to give to them is not what they want. So I understand exactly what you're saying, but then there are times we just have to let the professionals do their job. And who is a prime example of this, right? I believe I could call his name, Dr. Hodge. I heard so many things about Dr. Hodge back in the days. And I remember I went with Dr. Hodge, and I had probably the flu or virus, whatever was around. And when I went to Dr. Hodge, I went in and I did telling the man exactly what happened to me, and this is what happened and whatever. You know, he told me what I come to him for. And at the end of the day, he was correct, because here am I, gone to the professional, tell him what I wanted and what I think he should propose to give to me without even realizing that I'm the patient, and that's why I actually tell him what happened to me, but then I was telling him what to give to me. Right. And what he told me, ever since that, I respect him, and I continue going back to him, but not all the time, because I'm normally not really a sickly kind of person. But he gave me some relief, and if he had given me what I wanted, he did not diagnose me, so which means he'll just be giving me what I said. Right. So listening to what you said, and we're speaking here not just for us. Right. This is like general, what people will be saying. So I want everybody out there to know that we're not here trying to be any professional doctor. No, we're not. But at the end of the day, the doctors cannot, as you said, do anything unless we tell them what happened, but then they're the ones supposed to diagnose and whatever. And I'm just saying this, right, that sometimes being in a small environment, we sometimes can be maybe our worst enemy or kind of judgmental at the same time, or maybe don't have any trust for the physicians in these facilities,
Right.
because sometimes a lot of it is what we hear people say about these people without giving them a chance. So what you're basically saying is that, okay, maybe they're going through grief and they might just need a talk, but sometimes you still need some kind of medication just to soothe that situation. In other words, you've seen where we have like crisis, someone died,
Correct.
and you'll hear like the parents them faint, and they're gonna need something. So people just can't say, well, oh, they're just grieving, and they don't. Even you're grieving, you might need something. But this is just my opinion, and in certain situations. So I'm happy that you brought up that too. Yes.
I mean, I understand. Don't get me wrong, eh? The professionals are the professionals. You understand? But I'm just saying is that I've seen and heard stories that a lot of people. I'm not a doctor. We are not doctors, but some things are properly diagnosed and some are improperly diagnosed.
But and that
because,
is out of our control. So,
right.
so that is where the professional will come in for that. So I ain't going to touch something that can't be coming, because this is real talk, right? Yeah, we can't come here with opinions and perspectives, and we really have nothing. So I would always say, this is just from Lavi, where if somebody is grieving, and if they go to the hospital, the fact that they go to the hospital, let the people do their job.
You see, Lavi, I agree and I agree to disagree because yes, let them do the job, but you still have to be careful. Just to call and be frank. No, just to tell people, you go to church, listen to the pastor, but read the Bible for yourself. It's not every pastor that say God, Lord, Lord, is going to enter heaven. Just like it's not every doctor going to be correct. But I'll leave that.
Fictions. With real talk, 11. Because everything we read, we could understand either. Because I will always say, right, no man is an island.
Correct.
And if we can, sometimes the fact remains that you go to a church, you don't have to do everything that the person say. And as you rightfully said, we can read, but ain't everybody can just go and read and get. Sometimes we need a little help, right?
No, of course.
And I believe what I would say to persons out there in terms of seeking professional mental health support, I think that sometimes we need to not just go to friends, we need to seek the professional people, Joven,
of course,
regardless on that, because sometimes we need to stop playing doctors and we just need to go. And if you're not comfortable, then you continue to get another opinion. You understand? That's what doctors, right? You realize you don't have one doctor, right? You have many doctors. So you got to continue seeking until you feel that you feel comfortable.
Right.
You know, and there are also persons, you have ministers, religious ministers also, that are giving counseling to people. You have psychiatrists. You have, so you have the private practitioners. And in St. Kitts, we go to the hospital for everything, but at the end of the day, the doctors at the hospital will still recommend you see your doctor.
Brother CG Waldwin just now said something, and that's the next thing I was going to talk about, social programs. You understand? Social programs, because there are holistic approach and there's medical approach, right? And there's this thing I go to every year. I didn't get to go to it this year though. This thing called, it's a mental world expo, and it's normally put off by the iHeart Radio.
Okay.
I forget the guy name. He's a popular guy, and they have different guests. Last year they had Tyrese, they had some famous football player, but it's a not to something, but it's a black owned program, and they have it every year. A big event they have every year. And
is it in St. Kitts?
No. This year it was in New Jersey, but a couple of years I went, it was in New York.
This is where Dr. Lavi.
No, I know. I said
local.
no, but I said
Go ahead.
I say that to say that, stuff like this will be good. Stuff like this will be good. It's a forum where celebrities, especially local celebrities or local social figures, can come out and have a program and talk to people, because I think one of the problems, so a lot of people don't understand what is anxiety and what is depression, right? A lot of times people go through anxiety, go through depression, and it's like it's something foreign to them because they were not educated about it, right? Or they was not taught that it's okay, or not it's okay, but it's part of life. Because depression, you see, a lot of time people put anxiety and depression or mental health as a incurable disease, or a disease that's scorned. Because just like you having a cold, I could have a cold, right? That means it cannot be cured. Just like you having a broken limb, anybody get a broken limb, doesn't mean it cannot be fixed, no. And until we educate people, say, Lavi, mental health is real. You're not the only one going through this. And we get you together. Because a lot of people shut up in a box because they're scared. I might scare Lavi. I might fear to come and say, Lavi, I got into depression and I got into anxiety, because how society look at it, you might laugh after me. You understand? You might laugh after me.
And Joven, and this is why we are making a start.
Right, correct.
Right? I always believe in not just pointing fingers and saying these things.
No,
we
of
have
course.
to be a start, and we have to start from ourselves. We'll talk with Lavi. As you see, we're making the effort to bring
Correct.
these programs out.
And it's
Because
wonderful.
at the end of the day, mental health has been around even before we were born, right? Again, what we are seeing here in St. Kitts most of the time, St. Kitts and Nevis, most of the time these things used to be not at our hand reach. It used to be when we were watching
Yeah.
the big network, and we see these things happening over there, right? Mental health, obesity, everything that we used to see was not really in St. Kitts, right? Again, mental health is real, and you are correct. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people, basically, it boils down to trust. Because as you mentioned earlier, sometimes we like to heckle, we like to laugh at people. Sometimes we'll joke about it. And anxiety, as you very much mentioned, some of these things that maybe when it happened, we probably don't even gonna know it's that, or depression. Because I will always say you have to be in somebody's shoe. You have to sometimes be in this situation, and it's not as easy as how we will be looking at someone until you end up in that situation, right? So this is where friends, close families, right? Because sometimes the person don't even know they have an issue, right? Sometimes, like an alcoholic, somebody that is drinking, and you tell them, and they will say, well, they're not a woman. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So this is where people like us, families, like I said, radio talk shows, the media, social programs, everyone have to come on board, the community, the government, everybody have to try our best now, because mental health issues is right here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and it's happening in a lot of our young people. Now, here this year, since COVID, for instance, right? How has the COVID pandemic specifically impacted the mental well-being of young people in the Federation? You see what I'm talking about, right? COVID, again, is another setback where here is it, you went sleep one night and you get up, and then the whole world shut down. Young people, people that will have probably been from 18 years now. So that would have been like, say, what, COVID was like 19?
19. Yeah,
So that would be how much years
2019,
ago? Years ago?
About 3 years,
4 years ago. Let's say 5 years, because it's been out there, right? It's been in the air. And the world has shut down, basically. For some places already shut down, and when you reach the Caribbean, it took a while before you reach out in the Caribbean. So there was a lot of setback where persons, imagine when you could go out freely, then you're told that you can't go out you have to stay home,
In a
and you
cage.
can in a cage. You can't do certain things. So there's a lot of young men are basically suffering from all of that silently, right? So COVID for sure, believe it or not, the COVID-19 pandemic, it is still an effect of our present situation. Like, for instance, disasters. Look at Jamaica right now with Hurricane Melissa. That's another setback. And then cost of living gone sky high. So there's so many things that are to be brought to the forum,
Correct.
to basically want to listen to people. We are in a small society where everybody sometimes take you for granted. And we come from a culture where we also looking for particular people to bring the same information to us. They can't look like you and I drove in, so they're not listening. And sometimes the people that can help cure these people, along with the doctors, because it take a whole village, a community, you know.
You know, the funny thing is, and I suffer from depression and anxiety, and growing up, I would hide it and stuff like that, and it was only a couple of years ago, my friend Delwa Lestrade, my boss, she's one helped me really speak about it. You understand, the building that trust with her. You understand? She helped me to bring it to the forefront and talk about it. Because, I mean, a lot of people would know that because I always smiling, but sometimes I smiling and I hurting badly.
Yeah.
You understand?
Joven, I commend you to even, I hope this program is not, it's a help for you.
It is.
And
It's
for
and
many
for help to
people.
other
It's a
people
help to
because
me too.
help for other people
Yes,
because
for all of us.
You understand? Most of the times I will instead of talking to people, I put it in a song. that's how I get my I wrote 1 or 2, 3 or 3 songs talking about my emotion and my feelings. But a lot of people wouldn't think it's just a song, but it's really personal to me. The last one I released was one called Half a Man.
So how you got the courage to even speak about it now?
Well, the same person, she goes through stuff as well, my boss, and she's open about it. So it's like,
I don't want to think, but don't discuss her.
no, I know.
Focus on her.
Yeah, because she was talk to me about it and talk to us about it, and so she was almost like, give me the bravery to really sit down and talk about it. You know what I mean? Because as I said, I would shut down. Because, I'm coming from Magnet and a society where you don't know how to explain these stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not telling nobody about this and keep it to myself here because nobody gonna laugh after me and
So you put up this big front,
yeah. You know what I mean? Faking a smile with inside, you're really crying. But after a while and talking to people and who I could have.
What do you think would have caused some of that for you to be feeling like in the depression mood and anxiety? Do you think it's hereditary or it's something that just
depression
maybe
and
how you handle things or?
For me,
I'm not asking you a lot.
No, it's okay. Come on, we'll talk.
Yes.
No, for me, I don't know if it's hereditary. I know, well, this part of it probably because part of my mother's side has it and part of my father's side has it as well. You know what I mean? But mental health, it don't have to be hereditary. It could happen. I mean.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, anything could happen.
Then I just mentioned
a trauma, right.
Imagine you had
right.
a home and then you don't have no home, you don't have no food, and as you said, you're embarrassed to even ask anybody, just like how people can, like we wait for people to be at the lowest to beg $1.
Correct.
But today, tomorrow you look like this, and you go say, "Joe, give me $1." You say, "Well, yes, when she come to, she begging."
Exactly.
And
That
people don't
realizing,
know.
understand. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Because I mean, me personally, sometimes, as I said, I speak to all of them. So sometimes I look at them and I was like, wow, bye. I mean, because, we always say Lavi. And me going to say if, but I'll say when. when, as we say, when I boss and music go global and I get rich upon rich, I want to open a good rehabilitation center in St. Kitts. A good one, a good because a lot of people here can come back good. They just need proper rehabilitating.
Well, you got to start from small. What you're doing right now, it's helping.
Right.
You know,
right,
what you're
right,
doing
right.
now is really helping.
Right.
And again, when I look and I see, you know, what is happening in our country, because we don't like to hear about it.
Correct.
We have this kind of stigma from the moment you address certain things, or you're bringing down the country, you're bringing down this and whatever. So it is sad that we gonna look at people who are actually growing with the country.
Somebody on the phone.
Somebody calling. A pleasant good night.
Hi, good night, Laffy.
Hi, good night.
I'm listening to your program. It's quite interesting.
Yes.
But you know, one of the problems that I have is topics like these is that it's a discussion. I congratulate Jovin who wanted to come on the radio and to situations, things like this. But there are lots of contributing factors to mental health, eh?
Yes.
And the question is, you ask, the question is, you can't stop the factors. But the question is, how do you deal with situations like this?
Yes.
And this is something that I wish you would have had a medical, that psychologist or psychiatrist, because, you know, one of the things is that we see people when they basically are gone. We don't know, because there are a lot of people who do not talk about their problems. There's so many contributing factors. I still see some people walk on the street and nobody pick them up. I think, this is not politics, we're talking about government, all governments. I think government should have a home where people can go. They have one down a daycare center. Now, I'm not talking about when people are crazy. I've had discussions with people who are on the brink. They just wanted to talk. And they talk to me, but I can't help them. People who are menopausal, we talk about hormonal issues. You have people who have suffer from anxiety, they have deficiency issues. You have children who have suicidal thoughts because they have peer pressure and parental issues. You have young men who walk the street who try out and experiment with drugs. That is an issue. You have seen people who have seen their children get killed, trauma, and that has contributed to mental health. There's so many contributing factors that can cause mental health. It's not a topic that you take very lightly. But the question we ask, I've asked that all the time, because one day I was trying to recommend a place where somebody can go to and talk. And I was referred to a center that they talk about Alcoholic Anonymous. The person didn't have an alcoholic problem. They had other issues, but they asked that I can go there, and there's a group of people that you can talk to. What we have to find out, what we have to do in thinking, and it's a collaborative situation where all of us have to collaborate together and do this thing. The churches, it takes a village to raise a child, community, your best friend, the teachers. But then you have some of the teachers, too. They're posing issues. Their young girls were sexually harassed and abused. Their young boys were sexually harassed and abused. And these are people who keep these things to themselves. They're afraid to talk about it because of the stigma and the trauma.
Yeah, Sandra, I want to say this to you, right? I am so happy that you call in, and you're correct. When we have programs like this, topics like this, we expect to have the professionals. I have reached out to a number of professionals, and number one, in many areas, mental health, even in the education, and sometimes some of them will basically say that they're no longer doing these kind of things. They cannot deal with these kind of things because of the negativity that has been over the years. People always have something negative to say. So I said to myself, right, with and without, we are going to have the discussion. And hopefully when we do this, and some people will probably look at, we'll talk with Lavi, who she thinks she is. We still have that kind of the mentality here. So I truly, truly thank you so much. And to even be a part of this discussion, because we alone cannot do it.
And that's the fact. You have a situation, and I've spoken about this before, where you have a lot of young people, they're experimenting with drugs, and then you're going to legalize marijuana. Those are the crazy things that happen. And we're not looking at it from pointing fingers on anybody. We're talking about a situation that affects the entire country. Every single person would be affected at one point in time or the other. Sometimes I sit and I listen to people talk about the issues, the problems they have, like Jervin is saying, and they're afraid to go out because they said, I don't want them to think I'm crazy. They don't want to go by the hospital because the psyche ward is a psyche ward. I mean, it's not even kept well. That would encourage. And you don't have people that come, all they just give it an injection. We have to seriously start looking at this. Mental health is real. It
is real, Sandra, and it is here close to us. This is no longer where we're just looking
all of us can be
at a distance. Everybody can be affected.
All of us can be affected by it. And that is one of the things that I'm saying. You look at these young children who have, let me tell you, I don't think I want to talk about this because I know who I'm talking about. But you call the areas that you need to call and you tell them about the situation that you have. I've made that call and up to today, now 3 weeks, and nobody has come to me, nobody has called me, nobody has even asked me, whether or not anybody came to me. And those are the kind of things that I'm saying. We have the areas that's supposed to provide the support, they're not effective.
And the thing about it, Sandra, as you said, this is Real Talk with Lavi. Once again, thank you so much, right? Even when you reach out to these people with the profession, they don't have the time, they can't be bothered. I guess if it's not a certain person that's inviting them, and most of the time, a lot of people are not even getting the space and providing this kind of information back to the public.
And that's the big problem. They call it mental health is real when you go on by the psyche ward. That's not when mental health is not when you're going crazy. These are things, the anxiety, you're in a depressive state. It's simple things. Just to talk to somebody. You just want to talk to somebody. And people say, but just tell me I'm not crazy. No, you're not crazy. All of us go through these things. And people Jervin said the same thing. That's what got him to talk. When somebody can be open about their problems, it encourages you to talk.
And Sandra, and also when the person is open to talk because they was on Real Talk with Lavi and they felt comfortable to talk. So we have to actually creating this space for people that want to speak. Sometimes the people that are in some of these professions, you don't want to open up. They don't want to open up.
I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. But I listen. People come to me on not a daily basis, but regular, and you try to find somewhere to place them. And but now that you have a program like this, I just hope that there's some people who are listening because we see people. Like I say, it doesn't matter what the contributing factor is. We have to recognize this as a real problem.
Oh,
it's
yes.
a real problem.
Yes,
Everybody's not strong enough, and there's some medical issues that we can't deal with it on a day-to-day. You need the professionals to deal with it.
That is so true.
Issues.
That is so true, Sandra.
Issues you and I can't deal with because, you need the people who understand the situation to talk to.
And
need a forum.
Correct, and I will also tell you this. Having all the forum and all the different things, we still need to have the people that will be out there listening and who wants to share their stories. So everybody needs to connect, and we cannot take anybody for granted. Again, I've reached out to people. I've always been reaching out, and there's a lot of people can't be bothered, Sandra.
I know. I wish now, I'm going to close now, but I wish people, the people who can make a difference, I hope that they're listening to you and that they would try to, because there are people on the street that they can go to. We need to start cleaning up our streets. We have too many mental people with mental issues walking the road and nobody's doing anything about it. I think the government has to start to get, because you have a department that deals with situations like this. Talk to the parents of these people, the family members of these people, and see how you can make some time to talk to them or see what kind of medication you can put them on. I mean, counseling, that's a good thing. There's lots of children in school are cutting, doing self-harm, and they're under the radar, and nobody is saying or doing anything. There are a lot of young children who are being molested, and they're taking it to heart because the people who are doing it is the teachers, and they don't want to talk about it. There are lots of things that's happening in St. Kitts, and I think that it can be minimized by people doing what is necessary to do. Mental health is no joke. It is serious. And I'm so happy that you're touching on the topic, and I hope that the professionals would listen to you, and people who are affected can find some means and ways of expressing what they're going through, and somebody can find a solution to it. Thank you for hearing me, Lavi. It's a pleasure listening to you, and I'll continue to listen.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you. It is really good to have people calling in. We had a number of callers while Sandra was on. Is there someone else? Yes, so if that person is out there listening, unfortunately, sometimes we just say 2 minutes,
Yeah.
3 minutes, but this was a great contribution.
It was.
So I basically, was happy that we get our locals to call in. We have to really come out of that box or shell or whatever we are in, and we have to face it, because for every single household in St. Kitts and Nevis, there's issues.
Yes.
A pleasant good evening to you. This is Real Talk with Lavi.
Good evening, Lavi. How are you?
Good night. I'm good, thank
And
you.
good evening to your guest.
Good night. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Night, man.
A very interesting topic. And two things I am hoping to comment on. One, men don't cry. The last time I really had a good cry,
Yes.
and it wasn't a cry, it was bawling.
At a funeral?
No. When my uncle died, the late Andrew Weeks, and I was doing the eulogy.
But a
And
funeral?
well, okay, funeral related.
Yes.
And I pulled a sheet of paper and the pen. And before I start to write, I start to bawl, because we were very close, eh? And I bawled for about a good 20-25 minutes, literally. But when I done it, I feel fresh and refreshed, like, it's one of those feelings like, I don't know, you're tired and you had a good nap and you wake up to take on the world. I felt like that after. And of course, I've been to funerals and water just rolled down my eyes and things like that. And I think even when I was doing my talk show a couple of weeks ago, something I was talking about and it really touched me, really hurt me. And the water rolled down. I believe a man crying doesn't make you any less of a man.
No.
And it doesn't make you any weaker as a man. We all have emotions, and we vent those emotions in different ways. And normally, if you just let these feelings pent up, like blowing air into a balloon, it's going to become explosive. So they have that bad energy, the feel you have to channel it out at some point. And I'll argue any day, nothing is wrong with crying. But a lot of men believe that it's soft, it's weak. I have a different view to that. And in terms of the second thing, in terms of the mental elements, depression, I think that's a serious monster. I'm not certain how well equipped we are here in St. Kitts and Nevis to deal with it. I'm not certain how the medical fraternity, how they are, but you and I, as a normal man on the street, the grassroots people, we may see somebody and we see a big change in them. All of a sudden, they're not doing things they like. They become more of an introvert. And we realize that and we talk, but we may not be able to look at them and start wondering, but I wonder what's going on. And normally the chances are one of the first things somebody going to think, oh, he getting bite or she getting bite, which may be the case. I don't know, but sometimes you see somebody and even a good morning, a good afternoon, how you doing? That might mean the world to them, but we do not know. And I find we are losing that touch of empathy and respect, or whatever we want to call it. Example, you're going to a bank. You say good morning, and one person answers you. You say good morning again a little louder, everybody watch you and turn around. Well, who the crazy man be, boy? What his problem is? And they don't respond. And I normally say when that happens, no wonder we children don't say good morning, good afternoon, thank you, and please, because they don't hear the adults say it. And when you go to supermarket, they say, I want this, and you're going to bang them, tell them, say please. And The children then like, what name, please? But in terms of the depression, we need to be a little more appreciative, a little more sensitive. I think one thing you said, something's happening and we laugh after people. And that is the case. One thing I've learned from my mother, if it's only one thing I've learned from her, and she died in 1986, was never laugh after anybody, never make joke about anybody who is going through whatever situation, physical, mental, financial, sexual. Don't ever laugh after anybody because you do not know what is going to happen to you or yours. And I believe that. I believe that very much.
That is true. I remember my mom used to tell me that what is laugh to you is death to somebody else. So he's
exactly.
correct.
People say, what is joke to the butcher is death to the animal?
Yes.
And that's all of them. But we need to be more appreciative. And I think we are developing more of a heart of stone. We are getting a little cold. Some of us may have had bad experiences, and we are reacting to those experiences. But we can't paint everybody with the same brush.
No.
We can't. And it's just yesterday I went to a government department. I asked the lady, I needed a document. I said, hey, could you give me about 15 minutes to go down and get it? And I may get back a few minutes late. Would you open for me? The lady laughed. That didn't go down well with me. I went and I got the document, and we had a discussion after. And she has said so many people, when she do those things for them, next thing you want another again, and you say, no, I can't do it. And they go say, but remember last month you do it for me, and all of that. And there are people like that. We are not understanding, and we are ungrateful. What she was doing was painting everybody with the same brush.
Yes, and I feel because the place is very small, you're correct. I just think that sometimes people need to forget that even though the place might be small, that person that you think that you know, you really don't know them. You might just know of them. You don't know them. Let me draw a reference, for instance. This morning, I went by Stead to have some breakfast. And while I was there getting my breakfast, minding my business, a young lady was patiently waiting, and a grown woman. And I believe this woman meant well, right? But she was now coming to tell me about something negative. And even when I told her I don't want to hear about it, and it's something that was on social media, and I was like, ma'am, thank you so much, but I don't want to hear about it. I said, I'm fine. How are you doing? And she kept going in and then saying that, oh, the person take off my clothes. And she never really liked it. I said, but what clothes you take off? Because I'm clothed. What I'm saying, right, we gravitate too much to drama. And if I was not strong, do you know that drama is causing a lot of mental illness on many persons? It's not many people that are strong.
Indeed, and I always say, and I use this as an example, a man get bite. Men react differently to those situations. Some men might just say, oh, bye, maybe I drop shot somewhere, and he continue with the relationship, try to recover. Some man would hurt the woman, some man would hurt themselves, some man would hurt the person biting them, some man would hurt the two of them, all kind of variations. Why I believe we handle things, similar things, differently.
Yes.
Different stresses.
And we're no longer basically having discussions and conversations. Everybody, all of a sudden, I've never heard the word opinions. It's like every single day in maybe a lot of different sentences. You say something, oh, it's my opinion, it's my opinion. I mean, from when opinion, is it just from social media? Yes, it could be somebody's opinion, but it's not all the time. Because opinion is from people, how people think. And sometimes someone might be given an opinion of a situation that have nothing to do with the present issue. So we have to be very, very careful as to who we are listening to, who you're sharing your information to. And this is why people really need to listen to their parents, because the majority of the time, your mother not going to put you wrong.
Correct. Most correct. She's going to guide you as best as she can.
Yes, and the same thing that most of the time, if many persons that are behind walls today, I sure that they will basically say, if I did only listen to my mother. Sometimes your mother done dead and gone. And that is why you see when sometimes you see people want to go down in the grave. Because that's when reality hit, they ain't coming back. We have to
And
also, just before you go to, right, we have to also educate ourselves. We have come to where if we want information, people actually coming to me telling me, Lavi, things that are governmental issues that have nothing to do with me, out of my control. So if I happen to tell Jorvin, let's suppose Jorvin asks me, whatever I tell Jorvin, he won't go with it without any research.
and that shouldn't be the case, eh?
No.
But the point you made before that, there's an adage about 2020 vision. After the fact, we always say, well, boy, if I didn't know, if I should this, if I that, I shouldn't know better. And it's only when we have committed whatever act or acts, when we look back, that's when we start to think about how it should have been, why we shouldn't have done it this way, etc., etc.
Yes.
But too late shall be the cry. But interesting program. I would want to give somebody else a chance to call in. And the caller before me, Sandra, I think she made some valid points as well.
Very much.
And it's an excellent program. Keep it up.
Thank you. And I also want to let you know while you're here, I truly appreciate you for taking the time because this is what the show is about. It's for people calling in to share their knowledge. And as Sandra said, that it would have been nice if we have a profession, but sometimes we don't. I mean, a professional, sometimes we're not going to get it. And if these people ain't coming, real talk have to continue and we have to bring these issues to the forefront. I must commend the Royal St. Kitts and Christopher Police Force. The commissioner, Mr. Sutton, I wrote to him. This is the second time. The first time I wrote, and there was not anybody that showed up. And I messaged him back for an apology, basically let me know why the person never came. And, well, not really for an apology, for him to actually, let him know that they did not come. And he did give an apology. So I have to commend him that the second time around, I asked if they can send someone from the traffic department to come and share the knowledge. And Mr. Bell came, and persons love the information that the officer was given. So I think it's time that this country should not be just moving by our political colleagues or persons in government. This country should run by every single citizen in this country. And if something is for a good cause, take out whatever animosity or whatever you have about the person and let us come together to see how we can make St. Kitts a better place. Yeah, Jorvin.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And, I just want to thank, those callers for calling in. Strong and valid points. I think as Sandra said, we need, as I said, even as I said earlier, we need more avenues. Not just the facility at the hospital, but more avenues where young people, as she said, because young people, I mean, it might not be as much now as back then, but bullying can cause a lot. And I remember a couple of years ago we had a couple of suicide attempts or suicide by young people, and I guess all we have to do, because, being bullied in school and then might not have somebody to talk about it, come and say, Lavi, I'm going to this, I'm going to that, or they're scared to talk about it because, whoever might tell them, toughen up, let people gonna talk, and like the gentleman said as well, men cry. But, he said something there, and it's part of how God created us to cry for a reason. Tears cleanses his soul. And that's why he said when his uncle died, he had a good bawl. He bawled, and then he felt refreshed. Because when you get a good cry, when you get into something, not saying that's the end of it. You understand? Because the memory, if it's a death, the emotion is going to come back 3 weeks, a year from now, you're going to cry. But crying helps to cleanse the soul, helps to wash the soul.
Joven, you know what I realize? Women, I know sometimes when we have this topic, everybody's saying women, women, women. But I really believe that we really need to put some respect on both women and men, in particular women. I've listened to you and you said when you was going through your situation, it's a woman. And I'm yet to hear, not just from here, where men, when they're going through their things, the bodies that they have, that they can give that brotherhood back to a brother. We need more brotherhood in our country. And we need to get back that connection with the young and the old. It's disconnected. When I was growing up in the 70s, in the 80s, 90s, especially in the 70s, I was like a little kid, you know, and early 80s. It seemed as if when the sugar cane was gone, maybe most of the moms and pops, most of them didn't have a job or anything to do. So they basically stayed home. But I for sure was raised from a village that helped raising children. I grew up as a young girl seeing elders in terms of what we consider as old people. Nowadays, even your children, your young children are calling people like us old. Now, if they was really in that time and could really see what is old, because old to me is when you die, when you're done out of it, you can't move, right?
You can't move, right.
So I think that whoever come up with this thing is like, this is young people time. I am sending a message to all politicians. That's not the way to go. We cannot just say it's young people time, it's everybody time. Because in order for us to learn and grow, you need elders, Joven, and this is why we have so many mental illness and emotional illnesses. Because if you have a situation, you can't talk to your wife, can't talk to your girlfriend, can't talk to your buddy, you can't talk to your young friend. Who are you going to go and look for? They always say, I'm going to look for granny. I'm going to look for pops. So we need to start putting back some respect on top of the elders. And there's a lot of people, a lot of elderly people in this country has feel violated because of the message that we are sending in our country is to don't have any respect, because once the people reach a certain age, that's it. And knowledge do not die, especially if you're in the right mental capacity. What you feed your brain is what you're going to get out of it.
Correct.
There's a lot of people in St. Kitts and Nevis just home, retired, ain't doing nothing. There's life after retirement. If you have a vehicle, you park it up, no matter how new it is, if you don't continue oiling it and starting it up, and it's not gonna move. You look in a lot of these big countries, America, for instance, you look at the people that are out there, being the presidents and all, the big leaders, it's older people. People that done past retirement age. So I am just saying, in order to strengthen the young, you can't kill out the old.
Correct.
Joven.
Correct. And I like how you spoke about that thing with women, because women automatically are nurturers, right? And I think as men, we have to learn to communicate with each other as men as well. You know what I mean? Let me judge the example of relationship, and you stress on it.
Okay.
You have a girlfriend, you're going through wherever in your relationship with your man or wherever. As female, you always go sit down, talk about it, sit down, cry. Your true girlfriend. But men now, you know what I mean? It's like, I might say, but I got tough house saying, and listen, I mean, if I go to tough house gonna be like, let's go where she going, man. Let's go get a drink or something. Now sit down and listen. So that's something as men we got to practice to listen to our other male friends. You understand? Not saying that we are, becoming feminine, but at the same time we are becoming human. You understand? Because as I said, women, I mean, you got your clit, you 3 other women also. You have to sit down and talk. But men, we sit down and drink.
We do talk for women. There's a lot of women that bottle up things too, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday I had a discussion with a friend of mine, and we was talking about, as you get older, too, there's a lot of people, they're reflecting back in the past as to what they were supposed to do and what they wasn't supposed to do. There's a lot of people go through a lot of things. There's women body changes.
Correct.
In terms of menopause. There's, you look at somebody and you hear some people will say, oh, makes you look so. She used to look this way. You cannot look the same when you're 16 and 18 years old and you do not know what people are going through.
Correct.
Right? There are also men, young men. When it is said that the mind is developed at 25 years old, and between 25 and 30, we've seen a strong, when it comes to young men, they have some of them having chemical imbalance, and there's so many things. A lot of young men don't go to the doctors. When your testosterone level is not up, some men go into the depression, and these are things that they bottle up and they don't talk. But you need to go and see a doctor because these are things that can be fixed, Joven. Could mess with you mentally.
Of course.
Because society, you see what they're putting out there in the songs, the size and the this and the that. And at the end of the day, is how you make people feel, Joven, because we did not make ourselves.
Correct, that's true.
You see, women now, as I said, social media, if you're not an IG woman, the men are telling you that you're not the woman. If you're not an older man, an elderly man with a woman 3-4 decades down you, and when you get sick, at the end of the day, who do you go to? The same older woman and mature woman that you did not want. So some of these things, I'm not a professional, but I am not stupid. I've been around, I understand a lot, and I can only come here and share the positivity. This is not even just giving an opinion, but these are things that is happening in real life, reality, real talk with Lavi, Joven.
Sandra just said something in the chat about postpartum depression, and she's right. Because I think I don't have to do it now because my son is 14. But this is something that the doctors should educate the mothers if they don't, and the fathers. Because how I found out about postpartum depression is when I was with my son's mom, and she was acting the type of way, and I said, what's going on here? And I went and researched it for myself and understood it's something natural and something real. You understand? So all this, I think, is because postpartum depression is something serious. And as I said, education is the key. And if they have not, because I said my son is 14 years now, so I don't want to start to do it, but if they have not, and y'all listen, please educate the fathers and the mothers about postpartum depression.
Joven, I would add to what you're saying. As Sandra said, there are issues of postpartum depression, and there is no information given by the gynecologist. I would also add and say that this is where we need to spend our time as individuals to educate ourselves about our anatomy, right? Sometimes, even when you have a cough, everybody wants to say, go take bush, go do this. And sometimes it can be other underlying situations that we're dealing with. But again, I want to tell every single one of the persons out there, I've seen there's so many information that persons are writing. I was going to wait until we wrap up, but I'm just going to read some of these from the educated people out there that are listening right now. Well, Alicia Herbert say she just come in and Tough House is telling her go to sleep. But Alicia has always been following our Real Talk with Lavi. She was our guest last week, so Alicia, it's great to have you here with us. Dr. C.G. Walwyn, he's one of the founder of Real Talk. Even though I started Real Talk, he has been with Real Talk, and I'm encouraging other persons to, hop on board and share your information. If we can't just depend on the professionals, but we can depend on us as a people. Together we can. Dr. C.G. Walwyn is saying that this is a positive show tonight, and I'm very happy to see that you have acknowledge that the police commissioner has reached out to you as a sign of respect. This is great in his from him. Well, and thank you, and this is what I feel, compassion and being able to give gratitude back to people. Again, I did write to the commissioner of police. This is the second, matter of fact, the third time. But the first time he said that he will get back to me, and because I wanted him to be on this show. And these are the people that needs to come on not just my program. And don't even wait for people to send you invitation either. You guys can reach out to people. There's so many radio stations and talk shows in St. Kitts that, they can offer themselves as well, Joven.
Correct.
But I know definitely I reach out to the commissioner of police, and again, I have to tell him thank you. He did reach out, so he take We'll Talk with Lavi serious, along with winnfm. And the officer came last week in his police uniform. And there are persons out there, when we think they're not listening, they're listening. And they want to hear, not just because it comes from me, but people want to hear anything that can help build their brain.
Correct.
What we feed our brain is very important, Joven.
Very.
There are a lot of mothers out there, because every time something happens, it's the mother. They don't just say the homes, the mother. And a home supposed to make up of anything, whether it's a mother or father, or whoever is the head of that household, right? Regardless, even mothers, we need knowledge, we need information. Parenting is not easy. And that is why mental illness is triggering down right now in St. Kitts. Very, very hard in St. Kitts and Nevis, across the Caribbean. The persons right now don't have any electricity. They have children. Some of them basically paying electricity every week out of the little pittance that they're getting. So when they have electricity of, like, say, $3,000 balance, and they're only going home with over $400 and something a week, and have to take money out of that, they're not going to get back any electricity right now. And they're dealing with it. These are people that are coming and they're talking to Lavi. And not just here, Joven, the field that I am in. When you serve people, expect people going to reach out to you. A pleasant good night. This is We'll Talk with Lavi.
It's great to have you.
Good night, Lavi.
Good night.
Good night.
I guess you recognize the voice.
Not really. Who's this?
This is Mr. Welcome.
Oh, okay. Now I recognize your voice.
You know that I was mentioning something to you today.
And I'm going to tell you this, no disrespect. I do not want you to bring this on. No. Hear me out. I do not want you to bring up this today, because I already tell you that this is not the forum for it. We're speaking about mental health. So please stay on the topic.
Yes, I'm not discussing that.
Okay, great.
But is the effect of what happened to you and being snapped. Some people will say snap, all kind of names for such things. Do you know? For 2 days, I been stuck in my crib because I was depressed after getting confirmation of what this incident caused me mentally, and it's to get out. I'm calling you for one thing. It was many things, because I was going through a phase, and I see where I could have fallen into a snap category as that. Probably I had it for a short period. You know, because I wanted to speak to somebody. I've spoken to a couple of people. Some mental health come in different ways. Okay? And I'm not ashamed to say, because I'm human.
Absolutely.
And really, you have to speak to people. Early this morning, I called a friend of mine, and I tell him how I feel and what happened to me. And the conversation was so interesting. I got to get out. And I was out. And I been out for the day. And then after I touched base with you, I still wanted to get that part on because, like, I tell you how I feel. Man, I felt weak. I felt, which I've done, lock myself, stay home for 2 days. But I can't do it, so I get out. But mental health approaches people, humans, in different ways. It doesn't have to be a girl giving a guy a hard time. It doesn't have to be somebody dead, and you're feeling the that sulky, sorry feeling. So I just want to get it out there. I believe I got hit with it, but I'm not local. I have to be strong because I don't want it to escalate. I spoke to a couple of people, and I feel good.
Well, and I'm happy that you called today, and I already gave you some advice. I hope that you'll go and go that route. And thank you so much for calling, and reach out to somebody that is right in your area as well.
I think I will manage it because I didn't lock myself for 3. At least I break that cycle. I feel good, but it's really, really hard.
No problem. Hopefully, like I said, I will think about it, and we could have that discussion some other time and see when it will be appropriate to have that discussion. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Stay blessed. Thank you so much for always tuning into Real Talk with Lavi, and also for you giving Mr. What's his name, Bergen? Yes, that donation. That was very kind of you. So thank you for that.
No problem.
All right.
Take care.
Good. This is Real Talk with Lavi. The feedback is very positive, and it tells us that our people are they're hungry for positive topics and making it about them. We cannot make everything in this country about politicians, So I can actually feel there's so many comments that are coming in here. Let me see. There's so many comments. And I've never seen Sandra Queely Arthurthan even comment like this, so thank you so much. She said, Joven, you want to read that? Because I know you can see them.
Yeah. So the first one, she said, we need confidential places that we can go to hear what is causing issues. She said this will help alleviate some of the stress, which I agree. And, if may I read the last one, she said, remember, where she was reminiscing, saying, remember when there was district nurses who would visit homes, and then, we could speak to them about different programs and, gain programs and stuff like that to help people, basically.
Yeah, that's very good. And again, I am happy because Real Talk with Lavi, it is non-political. And I would say there's a number of persons, sometimes they call me and they expect me to bring out their motives. But I am not about that. I am basically about building our people. There's a lot of people in our country who have not fortunate to travel out. So with persons that are having the experience and opportunity to be out there, I'm happy to know that we can create this platform, to allow them to give back their experience and help share the knowledge to help build our people and recognize that we're really having a situation here in this country. It's all over, but we're dealing with St. Kitts and Nevis and mental health, as many of the callers, even you, Joven, it comes in all forms. It doesn't come with any age. It doesn't come with any color. It does not come with any profession. It's human being. People take things differently. It's not everybody as strong. And there's some people that will go to the smokes, to the alcohol, or go to anything that they think gonna help them. Like I had a discussion with a number of persons, and one lady told me, she said, Lavi, they think that the smoking helped them, but it only helped for that time. Temporary, that moment, and then it put them right back into a depression. When you see a young man don't want to get up and don't want to go to work, and you just see them, sometimes you look and see what's going on, even across the Caribbean. A lot of young faces when you see public release. Young men are basically doing a lot of crime. And this cannot be good. It cannot be good. Yeah. So we just saw even over, I don't know, I see even in Barbados, and you see the guys as young, very, very young teenage guys, 16, 17, under 21. And it's continue to come on, and it's just the faces. And when I see it, it's of our brown skin color. So mental health is real, and I just got to thank everyone for tuning in. It is 9:26, so we're gonna wrap it up. I got to tell Tough House, thank you so much for allowing us to go over time. Real Talk is with David definitely ready for the 2 hours, but I think the shorter, the better. And thanks to everyone who has basically contributed to this program. Before I leave, I have to read this one from Dr. C.G. Waldron again. He said, when I was in St. Kitts, I was leaving the hospital in my car. When we got by the Democrat, a young man was about, what you said, smash my police car with a what? A stone? Right here. And my, what is that, Joven?
So he said they smashed the car with a stone, and the police officer that was in the car jumped out to manhandle him.
And he was questioning as to told him that he was bipolar. So his approach to the young man basically, Joven, he needs help. Right? And we need police with compassion. And last week, I have to stress on last week, the police officer Bell, he showed every aspect of that, compassion and empathy, and I think that we are so quick. We can't tell people how to behave, but I believe as adults, we need more role models. We need to see more role models in our small federation. We also need to see more brotherhood, where men can go to that brotherhood and women can go to that sisterhood. There's so many people that come to Lavi, and you will basically, I wish I had more powers, to basically help and assist some of these people. And I do go, and sometimes I ask other people to come on board, and some people just don't got the time. You know what they tell me? They will say, Lavi, I don't like my name to call in nothing, so I just stay away from these kind of things. They don't want the name to call, right? So, and that is how some people deal with it. I mean, maybe, again, everybody built for that. And that is why they say leaders are born. And this is how we're going to end tonight with We'll Talk with Lavi. Thank you so much for being here. Interested person that wants to be a part of the show, Sandra, I'm inviting you once again. To make it happen. Deco Huggins are still waiting for you. And I just want to let everyone know to just, share your information, share your stories, and make it happen in St. Kitts to inspire someone. Joven, I got to tell you, thank you so much to basically even sharing your personal situation.
Pleasure was mine. If I could help someone, I would.
Absolutely. Coming up next week, you never know what's going to happen on the Real Talk with Lavi. I am Lavi Gumbs. Good night.
Let's get real on winnfm. Hi, this is Lavi. Let's get real Wednesday nights at 8 on winnfm. Get ready for an hour of real talk that will keep you engaged and informed, bringing you insights, the hottest topics of the moment, and perspectives that matter from the runway to the political arena. Real Talk with Lavi covers all. Let's get real Wednesday